Crisis Communication, Case Study of Tyson Foods by Averianna J. Nunies. What is the situation? Well, the situation is Tyson Foods is one of America's largest meat suppliers. Yet they had a lack of transparency, a lack of safety concern, and definitely no empathy during this global pandemic, which became the forefront of who they were. They placed an ad in the New York Times declaring a food supply to be breaking, claiming millions of pounds would disappear, while still shipping records amount of pork to China, literally days after running the New York Times ad. What's the problem? They were placing a scare on the local community for the potential scarcity of the food, all while placing workers, their employees at a higher risk as they were not providing proper PPE to those employees. What are some potential solutions? Well, first, provide the proper PPE to the workers. Any of the meat products that you're unable to store, work with the local or national food banks or even programs to donate those to people who may not be able to have access otherwise. And if that is not good enough, provide your own program for the distribution of these products. Now, this is going to be potentially harder to maintain, but it can also allow your workers, with their proper PPE, to give back to their local community and take pride in what they're doing. What is the recommended solution? First, provide the proper PPE for the workers, enforce the mask use, and require social distancing for safety. Any meat or products that are unable to be held need to be donated to local or national food programs to assist in feeding those who may be struggling due to the lockdowns or even the layoffs. And lower the production if needed to ensure that the safety of your employees is priority. You could have procedures in place for the handling of raw materials that may need to be shifted, maybe to a competitor even, but earmark it for being donated if that is required. What is the reasoning behind this? There's an importance of taking care of your workers. This is going to show empathy and provide a safer and more clear attention to your current situation and the current pandemic associated with the entire globe. Next, the donations are going to show your empathy, and they're going to prove that you have a desire to be a part of the local and national community and part of the solution rather than the problem. And your current path is just going to detract from your actual mission. Plus, it's also going to derail the process of building financial success in the future. Once the pandemic is over, no one's going to want to purchase anything from somebody who didn't have any empathy for their current situation and was even worse with their employees. Doesn't matter that you can keep your employment rate up. It doesn't matter. So what actions need to be taken? Well, you need to freely provide the PPE to the employees, especially until this pandemic has been deemed under control and the restrictions have been lifted. Better, continue providing PPE for those who wish to use them, as this is going to become a new normal. It's going to become something where people are fearing whether or not a new variant could happen. Reduce the production as needed. This is going to be able to limit the staff that's required on the floor during any of these times and follow the proper restrictions and technically just be a little stricter than the requirements. Again, refrain from seeking profit-increasing activities and advertisements. If you want to advertise for your food program, advertise for something in giving back to the community. Because if not, it looks like there's a lack of empathy and a huge sign of greed. Throughout this, we will be looking at the health industry and how they lost legal bids because of settlements over price gouging. And that's exactly what this looked like. Tyson Foods looked to have been doing price gouging with no empathy, sending product over to China while telling the U.S. that there could be a shortage. Many of the images come from Pexels, and here is the list of those references. Mahalo nui loa. This has been Averianna J. Nunies with Crisis Communication, case study of Tyson Foods.